What's happening, everybody? Welcome into the final mint reveal of Series 3. This is crazy. It's been a long road. Lots of story we have told, but today we are telling the last of that story with our final batch of our legendary Holo icon and our rare metallic gold. The final batch. This is it. Some of the best plays from the best players in the game. And I'm here with the other 2/3 of the curation den, Mr. Austin Kent and Mr. Noam Hoffenberg. We're going to break these things down, so let's get right into it. We're going to kick it off with the legendary Holo icon itself. This is the set of Top Shot. If you're going to point to a set, this is the one. So let's kick it off with Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler. You saw what he did in the playoffs. Austin, take us through this one.
Of course, we knew all along that Jimmy Butler was going to be one of the Miami Heat's 3 Holo players this year. The guy's incredible. We see it every year in the postseason, but you see it in the regular season as well. And that's what we've got here. Just an epic, tough, pure Jimmy Buckets bucket right against the Charlotte Hornets. A huge game for Jimmy. You know you're going to get that tenacity from Jimmy. He's just such a big part of the Miami Heat vibe. He does it, you know, year after year, and that we're so lucky to be able to have Jimmy like this. But of course, he's the third Holo, joining Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero on a very competitive Heat team this year.
Hey, Noam, does seeing Jimmy Butler get a Holo icon in a uniform other than the Bulls, does that hurt a little bit? All right, next up, moving on to the Chicago Bulls. Jimmy Butler, former Chicago Bull. Now we're on to the current day Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine just inked a big extension with the Bulls. Bulls fan, Noam, you got to be happy about this one, right?
I love it. And funny to talk about Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler trade is how the Bulls got Zach LaVine to begin with. So very excited to celebrate LaVine's season here in this Holo icon moment. Really exciting to see him step up even to a higher level this year. The Bulls were a really exciting team, and there were plenty of games where Zach LaVine kind of put the team on his back. Sometimes it was DeRozan, sometimes it was LaVine. Great to see him celebrated as an all-star this year.
I think the Bulls had more of a crowd here than the Nuggets in this game. You can see the reaction behind the bench. It's beautiful. I love it. And Zach LaVine, do you ever call him carries the team on his back, LaVine? Sorry. On to the next one. Cleveland Cavaliers, first-time All-Star, Jarrett Allen makes his way into the Holo set. I believe this is his first Holo moment on Top Shot.
Jarrett Allen gets posterized. Do you know why? Because he's fearless at the rim. And it works both ways. By being fearless at the rim, you also become one of the league's best dunk blockers, which Jarrett Allen is undisputably. I love how fearlessly Jarrett Allen protects the rim. Like you said, just a first-time All-Star this year and a major part of this Cavs team. You know, so many of their young pieces took massive leaps forward this year, and the Cavs are one of the funnest teams in the Eastern Conference this year. Jarrett Allen is a huge part of that. He joins Darius Garland and Evan Mobley as the 3 Holos for the Cavs this year. A perfect embodiment of really a memorable season for that franchise.
Next up, rookie phenom. Maybe I'm exaggerating a bit there. I am a Thunder fan. Josh Giddey. This is a challenge reward for Holo icon here, but this has some real contextual importance here too. I want to lay that out. The play itself is great. He steals it from a Luka alley-oop attempt. He takes it to the other end, throws a nice alley-oop to Pokusevski on the other end. However, this triple-double that Josh Giddey has in this game. It's from the youngest play. How do I say this? Josh Giddey records the youngest Yes, the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double. Thank you, Noam. That's exactly right. Josh Giddey, and he went on to record 3 more as the season went on. And if I'm not mistaken, those next 3 were also the youngest player to ever record a triple-double in an NBA game. So pretty impressive stuff from Giddey. Had a great rookie season. Unfortunately, it ended early in an injury, or else he was a lock for that first team all-rookie. Looking forward to watching him with new big man teammate Chet Holmgren next season. Next up, Portland Trailblazers center just inked an extension himself. Jusuf Nurkić rubbing it in on the Rockets' home crowd here, Austin.
Jusuf Nurkić, like you said, big contract. He's a big part of this Blazers team, you know. Of course, one of the 3 Holos for the Blazers during a kind of a year to forget for this team. A lot of injuries. You know, we saw their culture change as CJ was shipped out of town. But you know what you're going to get in Jusuf Nurkić? Just a dominant big man that's not afraid to just, you know, ring the rim like he does here. Just demoralizing this Houston Rockets team. But you got to love the Bosnian beast.
De'Aaron Fox for the Kings really turned it on after the Haliburton for Sabonis swap mid-season, Noam.
Yeah, really exciting to see how his game has developed, especially when the Kings were sort of saying, we're going to go all in as with Fox and Sabonis as our, you know, centerpieces to our team. He's got a few years under his belt. He's developing as a leader. I think he's got a great, bright future and an obvious choice for our Holo as one of our Holos for the Kings.
Absolutely. Next up, new Pelican, which is weird to say still, actually. CJ McCollum, a midseason acquisition for the Pelicans, and turned out to be a huge one. They make their way into the playoffs. Austin, I know this is a play that you handpicked, and it wasn't an easy decision. You had a couple on the table.
Yeah, you know, the CJ McCollum arrival in New Orleans, one of the storylines of the NBA season. Like I don't think that's being hyperbolic. The whole Pelicans turnaround in the second half of the season, you know, a lot of it can be attributed to Coach Willie Green really taking this team, building an identity with Zion on the sidelines. But I think the trade deadline acquisition of CJ McCollum, just a massive part of that. We saw that, you know, all the way through to the playoffs. But CJ just hit the ground running. The Pels got a vet, they got a star, and they got it instantly. This game, this was an interesting game to go back through after the fact, because the Pelicans ended up losing this one to the Mavs, but they were able to, you know, chip away at like a 15 to 20 point lead, just kind of showing the fight that we would come to associate this roster with over the course of the next few months. But this is like CJ's 4th game in a Pelicans jersey, drops 38 points in this, and just a massive part, I think, of inspiring confidence in what this young Pelicans team is capable of. So I was a big fan of CJ and the Pelicans this year. I think a lot of people were.
Yeah, season high 38. You said it for McCollum in this one. And he pulls up for 3 in transition, which I just love those little examples of modern day basketball where like 10 years ago we're saying, what are you doing? But now it's a good shot, right? Kristaps Porziņģis of the Washington Wizards. We have a theme going here, right? Another late season acquisition here. And maybe he's found a home in Washington. This is a fun play. Anytime you dunk it on LeBron James, it's something to be proud of. It's something probably worth minting to the Holo icon set on NBATopShot.com. So this, 27 points in the game for Kristaps here. And Beal, he's going to be there long term, it sounds like, at least in terms of his contract. It's going to be fun to watch that pairing work together for years to come in a place that, frankly, has shown themselves to embrace Kristaps for who he is as a player. Last but not least, the next and final reward of Holo Icon, another traded player. Tyrese Haliburton, we spoke about him a little bit earlier with the Kings, talking about De'Aaron Fox. Walk us through this play, Austin. This is a fun one.
Tyrese Haliburton is electric. We saw that over the season and a half in Sacramento. But he just picked up right where he left off, right after that trade to Indiana, and just immediately started infusing this, transitioning Pacers team with that sort of vision and that fun for the game. Haliburton left an impression very quickly, and I think we're going to see that impression continue to be left. The more established he gets in Indiana, this is very well like Tyrese Haliburton's team. They're going to surround him with other intriguing young pieces, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for this team. But you gotta love the energy that he plays with, just having the mindset to even pull off this sort of spin pass and transition like that. You have a player who enjoys playing the game.
All right, moving on. That's going to do it. Is that kind of sad to you guys? That's the end of Holo Icon Series 3. 90 plays, 90 players, 3 per team. I know we talk about it all the time, the storybook that is Holo Icon. Austin, what makes it special to you?
This was my first full season with a full roadmap to really lay out content and curation plans for the full year. And we knew right away that we love the role that Holo can play as this elite time capsule of the NBA season, and we started curating it from the day that, tip off on October 19th through to the end of the season to really try to make sure that we're distilling the absolute best of the best. You've got 30 teams, all of them in different positions. Some are stacked, some are not so stacked, plenty of teams in the middle. And by celebrating each squad in the way that Holo does, we're able to really shine a light on the three kind of central figures for each franchise and be able to pair those with some of the most memorable plays for each of those individuals over the course of the year. I'm very happy with how it played out because now you can zoom out, you can look at this Holo set in its completion and you can see just the heartbeat of the NBA season across all these different teams. I love Holo. I love just the role that Top Shot can play with helping to really archive, history as it's happening in real time. All of that's done through Top Shot in general, but especially a set like Holo. So I'm a big fan of how this set turned out.
Well said. And now on to almost the light version of Holo, right? Where we expand from 3 players per team to 5 players per team, metallic gold, or for short, MGLE. Let's kick it off with the 36-year-old Al Horford. He made a trip to the finals this year. Noam, how do you feel about this one?
It's great to see. This play is exciting, and Horford's season was tremendous. A guy who's been in the league this long, he's had so many playoff battles, and for him to finally get to the finals this year, it's a basketball fans everywhere. We're happy to see it. And he's really stepped up as a leader. He really stepped up in the clutch on both ends of the floor. He's doing defense. He's bringing the offense. I'm really happy to see Horford really get some success this year.
Now, one of my sneaky favorites of this batch, Devin Vassell for the San Antonio Spurs, who should just continue to have his role increase as the years go on for that team. Really showed a lot of flashes this season. And on this play in particular, nice spin move, showcasing the handle with the fadeaway in the mid-range, something I don't think that a lot of people realize he's capable of doing. So this is a fun moment for Devin Vassell and Spurs fans. Obi Toppin, one of the fan favorites in Madison Square Garden and New York Knicks fans. Austin, this is a mean dunk right here from Obi.
You just never know what to expect when Obi Toppin gets the ball on the open floor. He's just such a fun part of this Knicks team. I hope the Knicks continue to lean into this exciting young talent that is available to them on their roster. Obi, let him loose, Tibbs, because he does things like this, and it's incredible. Awesome windmill dunk from a guy who has plenty of great in-game dunks, including, he's got an East Bay. He just does a little bit of everything. But you love to see Obi Toppin throw down a big one.
Shield your eyes, Mavs fans. It's too soon, but Jalen Brunson earned this one, and it's not too soon to celebrate what you were able to do with him and help him develop into the player he has become, and he shows it right here on this play. Classic Brunson here, and really who he put himself on the map to be in front of NBA fans all over the world. Great pass off the baseline, hanging in the air. The strength to pull off a pass like this is incredible. 18, 9, and 9 for Brunson in this one.
National sports fans kind of got the introduction to exactly what Jalen Brunson was capable of in the playoffs. He obviously stepped up massive for that team with Luka on the sidelines, but Brunson's development has happened consistently over the course of his young career and resulted in, a very large bag from the Knicks front office. I'm excited to see what he's able to do, heading forward. But definitely just a big part of what turned out to be one of the league's funnest, surprise stories in the West.
Noam, one of your hand-picked MGLEs right here, Damian Lillard, one of the stars, maybe the forgotten stars of this past season just because of what he was dealing with all year long. But this is a fun moment against your Bulls, might I add.
No question that Damian Lillard is one of the premier players in the league. It was, a challenging season for him with the injuries. But when he was able to get on the court, he was always showing out. And, everyone knows his handle. Everyone knows his clutch. Everyone knows that he can, step back and hit crazy threes. But he also has the defense in his bag here against the Bulls. He's coming up with a big block. It's one of those plays where you're like, did Damian Lillard just do that to us?
That's a point guard that did that.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun plays, Austin, Jayson Tatum right here doing it at both ends, puts a little pizzazz on this one, 37 and 11.
You love to see plays like this from Jayson Tatum. I think this is just one of the underrated parts of his game, just how truly skillful he is and how long he is, and to be able to do both, together, which he does night in, night out. A lot of people got a crash course on that over the course of the postseason. But this is why, people have, since day one have been saying, just superstar level ceiling from Jayson Tatum, because he can just fly down the court as quickly as he does here, pick off a pass, immediately throw the ball behind his back, and then take it hard the other way. Tatum, just an incredible young player. And I'm very excited to see how he adapts, to that NBA Finals heartbreak this year. What's next for him? We'll all find out.
Jerami Grant here, making his way into MGLE.
Jerami Grant, as a Pistons fan, I thank you and appreciate what you were able to do for this team. The Pistons are in a very different spot now than they were, when Jerami Grant arrived via free agency. I wish nothing but the best for Jerami Grant as he heads forward to Portland, a team that's going to get Dame back, a team that has Nurkić, has a breakout star in Simons. I want to see Grant as a contributing piece on a team that's going to make a run for the playoffs in the West. So excited for Grant. In Detroit, very much kind of the adult in the room, surrounded by these young kids. The Pistons have such a bright future with their sophomores and their rookies, but Grant, you still need somebody to produce, and Jerami Grant was that for this Pistons team. It's why the Pistons were able to stay competitive in games over the course of the season. Just invaluable experience for any player, especially rookies, to see a player really take on that offensive load, which Grant did, 20-point per game scorer for these Pistons. Epic dunker. You see those long arms in effect on this play in particular. Love the through the backboard cam. Anytime you can see that, you can see him yamming on AD.
No emotion, though. No emotion from Jerami Grant on this dunk.
Just been there before. Come on, you've been there before, right?
Noam, I know you love a good block, and John Collins knows how to come up with a stylish block, as he shows here.
One of the NBA's premier athletes, Collins, he doesn't only have the dunking abilities, he does it on defense as well. You may think that Capella is the main shot blocker for Atlanta, but watch out, because Collins will get you too.
Malcolm Brogdon for the Pacers, going to find himself in Boston next season. This is a very great example of what kind of acquisition that will be for the Celtics. Here, just Brogdon probing the defense, finds his teammate for an easy basket. This is what he does. He manages the offense with mastery. He just probes. He makes his way into the lane. He just has a knack for it. He's been like that since he was a rookie. So this is a fun one from Malcolm Brogdon. I'm excited to see what the future has in store for him and the Pacers that he leaves behind. So now PJ Tucker always seems to find himself in the middle of a title run, Austin.
Who comes to mind more than PJ Tucker when you think about a wily vet? PJ Tucker does it all. Like you said, he's always around those teams that are competing for a title. He's on the move now. He's a bit of a journeyman. He's got to spread the wealth across the league, and he'll do that for Philly this season. But just a major part of Miami, and a big piece of why Miami got back to that sort of champion contender level status this year, after a premature playoff exit the year before. But PJ Tucker does it all. He's seeing the floor. He'll do it on defense. He'll hit the corner threes. Does a bit of everything. But he's going to take care of his teammates, which he does here with a smooth behind the back pass into the key.
Harrison Barnes has been solid since he's been in the league, and he shows it here. He just does the little things, Noam.
Oh yeah, here we have Harrison Barnes with a big block on LeBron. Anytime you go up against LeBron, you got to bring your best. Harrison Barnes does that here. It's maybe a little quiet or a little under the radar. He had a really, really solid season. Showed up with that veteran presence for the Kings, which, they could always, they could use a little leadership there, and he stepped up for, to provide that. And sometimes he'll get a game winner on you. You never know.
That's right. A nice counterpart, or not a nice companion to his Holo this year, right? Is this block. Austin, your beloved Cade Cunningham here. This moment gets better with each time I watch it. I love this moment.
Yeah, to me, this moment just symbolizes so much. First of all, note the defender you're watching. Cade do this against the two-time now MVP of the NBA. I think that's probably a sign, guys. Do you think that's a sign that Cade, two-time MVP run is coming? You love to see Cade. He does everything. And in this particular case, what he chooses to do is hit the MVP with an epic step-back three. No push-off there. That's just skill. Wide open for the three. You love Cade. He's incredible for the Pistons this year. And I'm so excited to see, what they're capable of next year, in year 2 for Cade.
One of the 3 challenge rewards of this MGLE batch, Noam, this is one you and I love. We've talked about it a lot. Kyrie Irving just dribbling everywhere. I think he touches every square inch of that half of the court on this play.
One of my favorite things about his game is that handle. Nobody really can dribble amongst the trees like Kyrie. He gets to his spot. You never know where he's going to go next. He really has that unique skill. You saw it throughout his career. You saw it in the Uncle Drew movie. I don't know where you're going to see it next, but Kyrie's going to really be given a lot to show off for years to come.
Speaking of fun point guards, the young Immanuel Quickley for the Knicks. This is a fun play, Austin. This is kind of chaotic at first, but it's just a fun play.
Yeah, this is one of those plays that just gets better the more you watch it. IQ, picking off an inbound pass, and then just, I'm just going to go out to the 3-point line and jack it up. This is modern day basketball, we've been told that 3 is more than 2, and IQ is going to get to his spot, and he's going to let you hear it. I could just watch this on a loop. There's something satisfying about how he picks off that pass. He just knows exactly what he wants to do with it. Another awesome young piece of this Knicks core, and I'm really excited to see how they develop in time.
One of the biggest pickups at the deadline, Spencer Dinwiddie for the Dallas Mavericks, just proved to be so important for that team as they fought their way through the playoffs on their way to the Western Conference Finals. And just a very competitive fashion. He would come off the bench for them and provide a big scoring lift, and that scoring lift is showcased in this moment here. 36 points, 7 assists in this game as well. Just a big drive to the cup with a clutch lay-in. He had a couple game winners for the Mavs this year, but this felt like a really good option for his MGLE, as one of those game winners is his Holo icon. And speaking of big playoff runs, Klay Thompson back from 2 years off of injury, 941 days off the floor. Austin, he makes it to the finals, and he makes his way in the MGLE set.
Of course. It's so good to have Klay Thompson back as part of this Warriors team's MGLE options, first of all. Of course, when Klay returns, everybody starts thinking about the Klay 3-point moments that we're going to be getting. But a big part of what makes Klay Thompson is his, defensive acumen. And you see that here, really keeping pace with a known slashing threat in Chris Middleton. Klay Thompson's going to stay with you. So, it's a long road back from that injury, but just you got to be so happy with the progress that Klay showed, getting back on the court. The title helps, the epic parade celebrations, of course, they also help.
I think one of the more fun guys to watch going into next season, Jalen Suggs for the Orlando Magic. Certainly had his ups and downs in his rookie season, but really showed flashes as he does on this play, Noam.
Jalen Suggs is one of the premier athletes in the league, really has that leaping ability that he shows off all the time with his epic dunks. Here we have him with an epic block. He's got the offense, he's got the defense on this play. The Magic have a bright future with with all the young pieces on their team, and he's going to have a lot more of these highlights.
Hawks reserve, but key piece Bogdan Bogdanović really stepped it up as the season went along and made his way into just maybe one of the top 3 important players on that team as they made a late playoff run. One of his biggest games of the season in this one, 30 points. I love how he just an easy rip of the ball handler here. Just throws it behind his back for no real reason, no apparent reason at least. The bench loves it. His teammates love it all the way to the other end for a finish. One of my favorites in this set. And now one of the more unique plays, maybe in Top Shot history. Austin, this has to be a first for Top Shot, right? Right here, Buddy Hield of the Indiana Pacers.
Buddy Hield. one of the best bucket hunters in the NBA. Of course, he's going to be the guy to do it. Buddy Hield strings together a three, then picks off an inbound pass, and then hits another three like he's beating his little cousin in a game of 2K or something. Take it easy, buddy. You love watching Buddy when he's feeling it. He's just Buddy Hield. This is what we expect from just a pure, unadulterated, like volume scorer. Buddy Hield is a joy to watch. Of course, we were excited to get him into the MGLE set.
As is Devin Booker, just become such a solid player for the Phoenix Suns, all-star, perennial, just does it night in and night out, is a walking bucket as he shows here, Austin.
You see in this play a huge clutch bucket that helped this team get into overtime, a game that they, of course, went ahead and won. But you love seeing Booker, shades of so many stars in the past with that sort of, mid-range length fade away from the baseline. So many epic stars in NBA history have just perfected that shot. And Booker studies that night in and night out. You love seeing Booker, who's just grown tremendously for this Phoenix Suns team that's just become, he's scarier by the year, it seems. And Devin Booker just such a huge part of that.
Spurs big man, Jakob Poeltl. Some call him Block-up Poeltl, which would be very appropriate for this moment in a career game, Noam.
Here we go. Block-up Poeltl. Yes. One of his better games of the year, 19 points, ended up with 6 blocks in this game. And I think he's one of the more underrated rim protectors in the league. He comes through, he's reliable with his defense. He is he can anchor the team when they need him to on the defensive end. A guy that you can count on to be solid when you need him. And here, he's a little bit more than solid. He's stepping up with a monster block and saying, don't bring it in my house.
And now another challenge reward. Milwaukee Bucks point guard Jrue Holiday. You know him for his defense, but here he's flashing the offense. And very, very stylish here with the spin move going baseline, whips the pass to the top of the key for an easy 3 for his teammates. One of his best games of the year for Jrue Holiday here, 24 points, 10 assists. Showing what he can do on that end. He's a fun watch when he gets it going like that. And last but not least, another challenge award, the final challenge award. Toronto Raptors, Pascal Siakam, third team All-NBA. Wasn't even an All-Star, late surge, really came on the scene this year, Austin. And this may be his biggest game of the season.
Yeah, this was such an epic time of the season for Raptors fans. And I think for Siakam's own, personal storyline as well. The Raps, they started slow. They started, not so hot, at the All-Star game, one All-Star for the Raps, but it was Fred VanVleet. Siakam didn't really come out of the gates as you would expect somebody that would make their way onto the All-NBA third team. But in the second half of the season, you saw this Raptors team come to life. You saw Siakam come to life. And I think this play and this game really embodies maybe that, just one of the key sort of turning points over the course of the season for them. Siakam drops 40 in this game. And the energy in the crowd was just electric here. Siakam was trading buckets with the Celtics team that would go on to make it to the finals. But this was when the Raps were just starting to really, flex that, even without Kyle Lowry, even without Kawhi Leonard, this core, this competitive core, which Siakam has been this through line for, is a solid team. And Siakam is in very many respects the motor that really propels those great Nick Nurse teams.
That's it. That's Series 3. It is a wrap. These are dropping Thursday, July 14th. So get your trade tickets ready. Good luck in the drop. We're excited about these moments. We hope you are too. See you guys next time.